Okay, let's look inside here. This is today's restring video, and it's an SG single pickup 24 fret Gibson SG. Let's put new strings on this thing. Okay, so this is a customer's guitar. It's in for a restring, and I asked them, do you mind if I do a YouTube video while I put strings on this and set it up? And they said, no, that would be fine. As a matter of fact, this guitar has a really cool story about who owned this guitar and what band he was in. Okay, so what we're looking at here, a 1996 SG. It's kind of in blood red. First thing I'm going to do is pull the strings off of here. Now what's crazy about this actual guitar is this guitar belonged to Doug Clark. Doug is the guitar player from the mighty Sphincter. They were a Phoenix-based punk rock band that just grew to legendary status here in the Phoenix area. And this was brought in by one of his relatives, and she's like, just get it playable, fix it up a little bit for us, put new strings on, set the height. The string height was kind of low on it, and it was fretting out a little bit here and there. But this guitar is pretty dang famous here in the Phoenix area. They were a really underrated doom gothic punk bloody band, you know what I'm saying? And people love these guys, but unfortunately Doug passed away a couple of years ago. And there's a couple of links down in the description of a couple of stories about Doug if you want to read about him. We are going to put a couple of links down in the description below so you can read all about him. But wow, what a legendary guitar that has come into the store today. I've lived in this town, Phoenix, Arizona, since back in the 80s. And I remember hearing about these guys. I was probably afraid to go to one of their shows, to be honest with you. These guys were creepy. This story, the stories this guitar could tell, right? So I'm just going to try to clean up a little of the blood that was on here. I'm kidding, there's no blood on here. But this is a super cool guitar. And I'm just going to not spend too much time cleaning it. But I am going to come down here and we're going to pull this truss rod cover off. Let's take a look at what's underneath here. Okay, that's looking good. Here we go, and let's just test on this a little bit. Nice, and it was really tight. So string height was a problem on this one. Yeah, and she's got a little back bow. So I'm just going to loosen this up a little bit. Okay, that looks better. Yeah, so this guitar is in a lot of videos that they made. And I'm actually a little creeped out right now working on it. Because he's such a legendary guy. Such a hardcore, gothic, doom, kind of deathy thing. And I'm actually a little freaked out right now. And I'm not going to spend a bunch of time you know, shining this thing up. Because this isn't that style of guitar. I'm just going to get it so that it plays a little bit better. Because again, the strings were really low on it, and it was fretting out here and there. And it's missing the one screw. Maybe I can find a second screw. Let me look for another screw. I can at least do that. Okay. Better. It's kind of tall. I'm not going to force it down on there. But at least it's got another screw on there. So I'm going to raise these up a little bit right here. And I'm going to set this back down on there right like that. And let's get some strings. Today's string choice, regular Ernie Ball 10 through 46. Les Paul Gibson scale length, right? The 24 3/4. I prefer to put 10s on. Fender scale length, 25.5. I prefer to put 9-gauge strings on there. So the owner of this guitar, Doug Clark, was the closest thing to a vampire that we had in this town. I mean, this guy had fangs. This guy had fangs. He had implants. And it made his two front teeth, his fangs. He actually had real fangs. He was a vampire. This guitar probably does not like being out in the sunlight. I'm going to throw these strings on it real quick. And put her back in her case. The only thing that could be worse if it had a coffin case. I noticed that here on the saddle, there's not a very good little channel or a slot that the strings fit in. But there's a little one that could be filed a little deeper. Now, I'm not 100% sure that this guitar was featured in some of those videos, because this being a 1996, right? And some of their songs, I thought they were more of an 80s band. So I'm not 100% sure. But it kind of looks like the one from that one video. Alright, so looking at the string height, it's a little bit high still. So what I'm going to do now, if we look right here at the bridge, you can see that he just grabbed to do adjustments. He just took a pair of pliers and he's kind of added a couple of scars right here. But with this tool right here, we can raise and lower these. So I'm going to see if I can do this all together now. See that? Gonna raise it right there a little bit. Okay. Got it raised up a little bit there. I like where the stop piece is at. There's not too much, you know, it's at a good height, so we don't have too much of a break angle, and the strings are not rubbing against the bottom of the bridge. So that's good. Okay, just a little bit more of this. Raise it just a little bit more. Unfortunately, I can't really get in on this side too well, but there we go. And then I'm just going to take a look, kind of eyeball where those are at. And they're looking good, so there we go. Stretch the strings a little tiny bit here. There we go. Back in the case. There was a couple of things. Oh, I'm trying to do 3 things at the same time here and hold the camera. But his old tuner is in there and a couple of things. Just gonna leave all that right in there. There it is, man. Wow. I'm actually a little tiny bit freaked out with this one. Put her back in there. There it goes. Thank you guys for watching. Everybody have a great day. And take care of each other. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.